Raj and Zanelle. I honestly, there's no words. This is the most poddy podcast we've ever podcasted.
Yes.
Yes.
We podded today.
Yeah, we
podded today.
It's the most poddy podcast we've ever podcasted. When you find two people who are very close friends finding their calling together, it's a very beautiful thing when it happens on camera and on set, because you actually kind of enjoy the banter that comes with the lessons. And like, personally, I honestly just couldn't believe the fact that like I was with the Adventure Singh. For those who've been watching Mantalk for a while, you know that I joined social media later. I think that's the best sentence.
Yeah, just later. Yeah.
I joined it later. So Adventure Singh's content is something I've been consuming for a lot of years. So I was literally fanboying in the episode.
Yeah.
And Zanelle is just such a boss.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bro, what was your take?
Joe, it was a fantastic conversation. I think you said it perfectly, but what you could expect in the episode is we talk about how people have gone from hobby and education, it's a drastic difference, but Zanelle's gone from an economics student, graduate, to a travel blogger. So that journey, I think a lot of people want to take that step to go from passion, from what you're doing, to now into your passion. So if you want to know about that, watch the episode. Raj talks about using your skill set to leverage in deals and, you know, be able to fund your passion and be able to navigate that in a certain way. So there's so much juice if you want to be a content creator. I guarantee there's going to be value in the episode.
And Raj, is Raj the first? No, he's the third inaugural Sweet Boy.
He was inaugurated.
He was inaugurated today. Yeah, welcome to Sweet Boy Association, Raj.
Yeah.
The boy is sweet. Confidence. The confidence on the guy.
So we hope you enjoyed listening to this podcast.
Half as much
as we enjoyed making it.
Because we had a ball. Enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome back to mantalk.ke. Another episode. Thank you for all the love on the last one. We know you guys like relationships. We don't, but I'm glad you enjoyed it. So this is a very special episode. We have two guests, and they are none other than the amazing Zanelle, aka Thandotravels, and Raj, aka Adventure Singh on Instagram and YouTube as well. So as you can see, we're back in Kofisi, an amazing co-working space. Again, the link will be down in the bio, and you can come check out the rates, check out the locations. There's many of them around Nairobi. And also special shout out to our sponsors, Jinsmin, for the episode. We're going to talk about that slightly later on in the episode. So welcome, guys. Welcome to Mantalk.
Thank you.
Oscar has a burning question.
No.
We can see it.
Let me tell you something. First of all, before we even start this podcast, the guy on my right and the lady on my right are well-known travel content creators. And you know, like for me personally, just a year ago, I wasn't. I think it's a year ago, a year ago, like I wasn't on social media. And the one thing that I used to watch was YouTube, and your content was literally my go-to.
Wow, that is so amazing. I'm so humbled to hear that.
Honestly.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So like it's an honor to have you on set.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Honestly,
welcome to the podcast world. I'm going to enjoy every
so
single thing. So let me kick it off. First question.
All right, let's go for it.
First question, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, one.
Wait, I hope your questions aren't going to be hard AF, right?
Yeah, they're very good.
Dive in.
I'm usually asked like, how are you?
It's slightly less difficult, just slightly less difficult than shooting a lion up close. It's slightly.
Okay, fine.
Same level of
fine. Understood.
So Raj, question I have for you, and we've been asking this question to all the men who've come on the show thus far. And Thando, don't worry, your question is also coming. Don't worry. What is the best thing for you about being a man? How do you think as a man you contribute most to society? What's that one aspect of yourself that you give to society that you think, you know, adds value to being a man? Because most of the men in society today are portrayed as being toxic, and we're trying to reframe that in terms of how you contribute today.
I thought you said that question would be easier than making my
You are standing in the place of people not saying men are trash. So let's see.
No pressure.
Well, I guess in terms of just how I portray myself in society, it's too. Wow, this is a very difficult question.
Is it?
It is. It's quite a difficult question. Well, okay, I want to portray that men aren't trash, right? So, being nice to people, right? Just being kind in general. Being someone who people look up to for inspiration, for knowledge, and like with my channel and stuff, entertainment.
the thing about you, Raj, is that like you create such confident content. Like your content is so like brave. Let's start with that. Like, because you know, not everyone sits down and then has a camera in their face the whole time. Because for me, the one reason why I was so entertained and like super like absorbed in your work is because like you're just there's no ego to you. There's no falsehoods. It's just a guy with a camera having a good time traveling.
Right.
And you know, that aspect that you just said in terms of like like being that guy, in terms of like being that guy on camera and just not necessarily having that, oh, I'm out here partying, being crazy. There's no toxic masculinity. It's just Raj.
Yes.
It's just Raj. Like, how the hell do you achieve that? Like,
So I think it comes back down to also just humble beginnings and humble roots. Like when I was in high school, I never used to go out partying. I never, drank and did drugs and did all these crazy things that my friends would do, mainly because I had to study so that I could get good grades. I'm an Indian kid. And I think that kind of really shaped up what I am today. Right. So yeah, here and there I like partying a lot, but it's not like kind of the trash type of masculinity, right? Still again, just keeping the whole thing of kindness, gratitude, and positivity.
fair.
Yeah.
You're his friend. Now that is the question.
But for you, Zanelle, I want to flip it. I want to flip it, right? And we're gonna get into content, don't worry. But this is about masculinity to start with. What's your definition of a positive male?
Wow. Okay. Someone who supports a woman regardless.
Wow. Okay.
And I think regardless meaning that if there has to be compromise involved or sacrifice, the person does it, the man does it. And that's not easy for men to do it, especially for example, I love traveling a lot. So obviously, you know, being with someone who would allow for me to do that without thinking, oh, you're going with Raj for a trip. Or even like if I decide to, because we're very spontaneous people. Like we can decide, okay, actually let's go to Lamu tomorrow or like the week after, and we go. You know, someone who's not like, oh my God, you're never around, stuff like that. So just someone who's supportive in that sense.
They need to basically complement your lifestyle and not have insecurities attached to it, right? Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it also comes down to just being confident in yourself, because if you're talking about someone who's with you and wouldn't like really question you going to travel with you, that's a person who's confident in himself, confident in the fact that, hey, Zanelle is going to travel with Raj, but at the end of the day, I know she loves me and she knows I love her, right?
Exactly.
That
respect
and I think trust as well.
For sure. This ties into the reason you guys are here together, right? Now, in the last episode, Love in the 254, part 3, we were talking about the importance of having relationships with people of the opposite sex that's platonic. And you can just have real conversations, interact with a lady, and there's nothing else attached to it. And that's why I'm really happy that you guys are here, because it's a perfect example of that. So, when I first met you guys, it was on the trip for the shoot for your amazing brand. Link will be below as well, Azana. Wink, wink.
Just say it again.
Azana.
Azana.
Does it have a tagline yet? Do you make one today?
Born to travel.
Born to travel. Azana. Available now.
Shameless plug.
We love it. And so I managed to see your working dynamic as well as your friendship on that trip. And friendship doesn't always mean, it means you can literally argue about something and resolve it because you're in the same film. And that was so good to see. It was genuinely refreshing to see. And that means that now, in my opinion, Raj, when you're talking to your girl, you get into an argument, it's not the first time you've spoken to a girl and there's been a conflict and you've resolved it, right? Because you've had that interaction, same with you. So I want to find out how important you find it to have a best friend. You can maybe tell your story how you met as best friends, etc. But how important do you think it is? Do you agree with my point? That you need a platonic friend in your life to make you better in a relationship.
Ila, that is a leading question. Do you agree with my point?
Yeah.
Get out!
Get on my podcast.
Because I saw the comments, guys. This is why they're here.
You go first, because
the importance.
Okay, so I feel like for me, wow. Can I go back into the history of my life? When I was in high school, I couldn't really talk to girls. like a lot of lack
like,
of
my name is
confidence and everything.
Yeah.
And
Dude, you take photos with snakes.
Exactly.
dude, man, snakes, girls,
Same thing.
two very different things.
I just know, like, it's so hard for me to believe that.
No, but that was me in high school. I mean, I don't think I would take pictures with snakes. I don't know which snake photo you're talking about.
You guys,
I wanna see it.
your content is like
What you're
this
talking
guy's
about.
content.
Put it here
There was a time,
somewhere.
let me tell you, there's a time this guy like was shooting. I'm fanboying. So there was a time this guy had like an elephant shot. Like, so there's elephants.
Oh yeah, the one that we took forever to shoot.
Or if you knew the history behind that shot, my body was half suspended from the car. I was like this, and then like I was getting. That's
Anyways,
what
but
friends do.
back to the whole. When I was in high school, I couldn't do that. When I was in high school, I couldn't pick up a camera and be like, "Hey, this is me." I lacked self-confidence. When I got into A levels, which is Form 5 and 6 KCSE, that's when I started opening up and becoming more confident, and that was when I started talking to more and more girls. And from then onward, like, most of my best friends would be girls. So I think eventually it just had to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so maybe that also could tie back into the first question you asked me, is how I treat the world, is how I feel like, because even my sister is my best friend, and then all the rest of my other best friend girlfriends, it kind of made me like realize how a woman should be treated.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you interact.
So I do think it's very important to have that platonic relationship, because she can come and tell me some girl issues that I can then use to maneuver my own relationship. Yeah.
So you agree with my point?
Yeah, I do agree.
That's beautiful. So
Yeah, I agree with Raj. Especially for a girl, it's important to have those platonic relationships. Raj gives me relationship advice from a man's standpoint, and sometimes us girls cannot see beyond here when it comes, especially when you're arguing with a guy. Like, you're just like, I am right, he's wrong, screw him, it is over. I'm joking. You need someone to like be like, okay, chill.
Send
Like,
to you.
That if you see it from this perspective, and you're like, okay, it makes sense. And even just it also builds that culture of not every attractive guy you're seeing, you're like, oh my gosh, start fantasizing about the guy on the spot. Like, it builds those relationships, and then you kind of like protect yourself in the process. I think it's important.
Yeah, it's very. I think yours is a very interesting relationship as well, because not only are you friends in terms of like your relationship, but also you found your friendship also in your calling.
Yes.
Which is like.
That's podding. He's moved that into now.
It is true. Yeah.
So now let's talk about that specific aspect of creating content, and not just alone, but creating content together. Right? My first question, of course, is when you're like, me and Eli also create content together, and there are times when we see things from a different viewpoint. So how do you two handle conflict?
I think it's simple. So she's known from the start, I'm very straightforward. I'm bluntly straightforward. If you're messing up, I'll tell you. But the thing I like about Zanelle, and I think that's why our relationship has really deepened, is when we first met, I literally sent her a message. I'm like, yo, I'm going to Masai Mara, pack your bags, let's go.
And I'm like, I don't know this guy. I don't know.
Are you kidding me?
He could kill me.
Yo, that's
I'm an only child.
So,
It's a setup.
she bought my presets and then gave me some negative feedback about a course I had just created.
Nice.
And then I saw that and I'm like, who is this person? So I had a look at her profile and I'm like, she takes travel photos, so she's probably a travel content creator.
Right.
And it just made sense to invite her and see where just travel buddy wise and stuff, where it would go.
Right.
And when she came for the trip, she was so willing to learn, and like, she was very friendly and open-minded and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, when I was being blunt, and she would like properly accept that and be like, okay, you're right. I need to do ABC. And I think that really it really struck a chord with me, because it's like, this is a person who's willing to learn,
Right.
and is a person who's willing to go that extra mile,
Yeah.
and is very friendly. So
That willingness
that's-
to learn, I think you've mentioned it like thrice now.
yeah,
So-
I really adore people who are willing to constantly learn and constantly improve themselves, because that's the kind of person I am. If someone just goes and stays here and says, hey, I'm the best in the world,
Yeah.
I kind of can't get along with you, because there's a lot to learn. I'm learning a lot. The other person needs to learn a lot. So,
Yes, they need to challenge themselves.
You know, we always
Yeah,
say-
that's Adventure
Yeah.
Singh branded.
Yeah,
Challenge
challenge
yourself.
yourself.
challenge yourself.
Yeah, we always say on here and online, like, growth is imperative. So if you don't,
Exactly.
you're not willing to grow, you're never gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not willing to learn, you won't grow.
Yeah.
Okay, so where you are now, you're content creators, right? And that takes up a majority of your time. But I know your background, especially you, Zanelle, is very different to content. So I want to quickly talk about that journey, because if I'm not wrong, you did economics.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
I
now
did.
you're doing content.
Yeah.
Those are two different worlds.
Hey, yo,
apart from when you're
that's
checking how much you
interesting.
spent.
Hey, yo, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
interesting.
Yeah.
I know.
I
I
love
know.
economics, actually.
Yeah.
You
So
can give me
we
your
are.
money and I'll invest it for you.
There it is. There it is.
Hey.
So we are
What
of the
is
darker shade, and we know
economics?
that comes with family members that expect
Hey.
But it
conventional.
explains everything, no?
Yeah, yeah,
That Azana is in elastic.
yeah. Of course, it's budgeted for.
Hey.
It's budgeted for.
I just saw that. I just saw
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So I want to find out, like, being able to go, okay, at a young age, I want to do economics, and then making that transition. How did that work with the people in your life, your mum and dad, and even you taking a toll, being like, I've done this. You completed it, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I did.
I've done this degree, and now I want to go into something creative. How was that journey? What was the challenges? Because what we want to do on the pod is, if somebody's listening and they follow your page, like, oh my god, she does this. How does she always go to these places?
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it looks
Of course,
online.
it's
So I want
not.
you to maybe give a couple gems.
Yeah.
What's your journey, economics to travel, so someone watching can be like, that's a beaten path I can maybe go down.
Yeah, so that's a really good question.
Thank you
and
very
I think
much.
it's very important to bring out such questions for people who want to, do something different from what they studied. So I wanted to do photography since high school. And I told my mom when I finished that I wanted to do photography and also acting. She looked at me and she laughed and she's like, I'm not going to pay for a UK degree to go study acting or photography.
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, fine, I guess I have to do economics. So I went, I studied. Second year, I'm like, no, man, this is horrible. I want to stop. And of course, I couldn't just drop out. Like I'm a single, I'm an only child from a single mom. There's no, I so much pressure for me to make it.
That gives context.
Like so much, can you see my sweat? Can you see it? So of course, I told my mom I really want to do photography. Like, I'm really passionate about it. I had like a camera, Canon 750D. I'd go take photos. I actually converted my studio apartment into like a photo shoot. Like, I'd do like lights, string lights, all this stuff. And when my mom found out, because she called me in the middle of a shoot, she was like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I'm doing a shoot and I'm actually starting to make kidogo money. And she's like, can you go read? What are you doing? I'm here like toiling my freaking bum off for you to just be doing shoots. And she was just, and I was like, okay, you know what? I packed my camera. I never touched it. I was like, you know what? It's fine. So third year, I had a placement here. So UK universities give you a year where you can either work or study abroad. So I got an internship in Spain. And when I went, I realized, whoa, traveling in Europe is cheap.
Yo, so cheap. Right.
Yeah. So I like, you can
And
travel
Europe is
from
beautiful as
London
well.
to Barcelona for like 3,000 bob. And I'm like,
Yeah.
are you freaking... Let's go. So every weekend we'd travel. And then that time, like, I just got like, I had my iPhone 7. So I just shoot content. And I was like, wait, I like this. I like him.
Yeah.
I like this.
Wow. I found it.
Sunsets.
Success.
Stunning.
Big success.
It was literally like that. I was like, Eureka. Eureka.
Wow.
So I would just...
Success. You know that song? At last. 4 long years. Learning supply and demand.
If you're listening on the podcast, this must sound horrible. I'm sorry.
The sound of ambition.
Literally, literally what's going on in my mind. I don't even lie to you.
So much wow.
So I just kept pushing.
Tell us about your pushing.
I just kept traveling back to back with my friends. Because also I was working, of course I was making money as well.
Yeah.
So when I went back in final year, I was like, I'm finishing this degree, handing out the certificate, and I'm not doing this stuff. Yeah. So that's exactly what I did.
Did you have a plan?
I had a plan. So during my exams,
there we go.
I was watching tutorials on cameras. Like, because I hadn't picked up a camera in a long time. Yeah. So my brain needed a refresh. Okay. So instead of studying, I would go YouTube back to back, Photoshop, Lightroom, basics of a camera, doing research on the camera I want to get, the research of the style of photography I wanted to do, which was travel. Okay, so the lenses that I needed for wildlife, for street, for like portrait, but I was like, I don't really want to do portrait that much, but in case I do it while I'm traveling, like that. Wow. And I just went like back to back and studying for exams. So I was barely sleeping. These were final year exams. So when I finished my exams, 2 weeks before I finished, my mom, now COVID 2020, I'm a COVID graduate. Sure. So my mom was braiding my cornrows because we couldn't go to the salon. I told her, by the way, I'm finishing and I'm doing photography. And she's like, what? And I'm like, Mom, I am doing it whether you like it or not. Yeah. And I don't want to do economics. Yeah, so she literally had an epiphany from God because my mom's a Christian, and she was like, because I was watching a video on like drones because I wanted to also get a drone. So she was like,
your mom was like,
so my mom listened to that video and she was like, oh my God. So in her, just do that voiceover again, success, just do it again.
Yes, finally. The sound of ambition. My daughter sitting on the throne.
So my mom would like my mom started picturing like my content and all that stuff. Because I also I did a PowerPoint presentation to show her, this is my work.
Wait. Hold on. Let's reverse that. You kind of skipped that part. You did a PowerPoint presentation.
I did a PowerPoint presentation.
Do you know what's amazing about that? We've always said this, right? Yeah. You know, kids like, I want to do this, but okay. Your parents up until sorry to interrupt, but your parents up until a certain point, they're doing everything they can in their vision that you can fit into because they love you. Yeah. If you come to them and say, "This is your vision, but look, I have a plan. There's a plan. This is what we've been trying to say so many times.
Yeah, I had a PowerPoint of my photos.
Yeah, so you did like a whole like.
I did. After I told her that, and she realized, okay, there's potential here, but she was still afraid because she was like, "I'm gonna support you, but I still need to see if it's going to." And I was like, "Okay, cool. Just give me like a few days." When edited my best photos, shots, PowerPoint like that. And I told her, okay, so for me to start out, I just need a loan of X amount of cash to just help me get like gear. Yeah. And then that's exactly what happened.
Gear is a must.
And when she saw, then also I had some savings. So I literally poured out all my savings. I just poured it there. And when she saw that and she saw the PowerPoint, she said, this chick.
she knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing. So she helped me with some cash, and then I got the gear, and then here we are.
Does your mom have a background in business?
Yes.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
She looked at it and she was like, hey, listen, baby girl.
Like, this is an investment. I want to get in.
Otherwise looking
good. You know, she studied economics.
And then bam, Azana comes along and she's like, yo, I told you guys.
Part of the plan.
I knew it.
But just because we're getting to the point where like we're seeing your travel content do so well. So how did you conceptualize Azana, and where did that need come from?
So I actually, the idea came in 2019. I wanted to do drop shipping. So for those of you who don't know what it is, it's getting a product from Alibaba or AliExpress, other retail companies, and then just not being in charge of inventory. So if I get a travel bag, sorry, I touched. But anyway, if someone purchases a travel bag from me, I would get it from a supplier in China, but they wouldn't know that I've gotten it from a supplier in China. They'll just know I got it from. They got it from Zanelle.
A middleman.
I'm a middleman. Now, the good thing about that is I don't have to handle stock. The bad thing about that is I have to rely on what I see on Alibaba and AliExpress, which quality control is. So, especially for travel bags. I thought of the idea, and people were saying, "Man, you can make $1 million from drop shipping." I was like, "I wanna make $1 million."
Mom,
Did you ever
another
watch
PowerPoint.
the videos on the
Have
bracelet,
another PowerPoint.
the lion bracelet?
Yes.
Sell
I
this
just-
lion bracelet for
Man,
$5.
on YouTube, I was just like, I wanna make this money.
I tried and blew so much money. It never worked.
My 2019, I didn't even finish uni. I was like, I want to be a millionaire and drop out. Drop out.
You're like Facebook ads.
Oh.
No
My
way.
mom is like, where's the degree? Here's the degree. $1 million check. See you, baby.
Dropshipping is the way out.
Oh man, dude.
Finally. The last time it was Barcelona. Now the sound comes back. Dropshipping. You know you want to do it.
Oh man. Dropped. Oh my gosh. It's still a huge way for people to make money even
Yeah.
It
in
is.
2021.
Yeah.
If you brand
But
yourself properly.
Exactly. Yeah. But I was like, okay, fine. I need to finish school. So I actually met my business partner now. She's called Claudia
Ooh.
in Kenya through Hali, my friend.
Ah.
So Hali Odor. So now when I met her, I was like, whoa, make for me a bag, because she was doing leather bags for like 4 years. I was like, oh, make for me a bag. I want to travel with it and like promote a Kenyan business. So I traveled with it, and I was like, everyone was like, which bag is this? Which bag is this? I want this bag. I want this bag. I want this bag. And I was like, wait, light bulb moment, I can make money. So I was like,
The economics.
there's a lot of epiphanies.
Yeah.
So when I realized that, I was like, let's get on a commission basis. Then after some time, I kind of like died down because me and Raj were back to back traveling consistently.
Yeah.
Then I realized I couldn't balance that thing of like doing commission based thing, and I was like, how sustainable is it?
Yeah.
Then at some
That
point,
economics degree is economics.
I'm telling you,
Balance.
balance.
The economics is
Credit,
economics
balance.
in.
It did its job. That
It's
is
doing
doing
its
its
work.
job.
Credit, not debit.
So many more of these punchlines.
That may put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Credit not
Not
debit.
2 arrows.
2 hours.
If you guys sell that, I want commission.
PowerPoint. Okay.
Royalties.
We'll send you a PowerPoint in a few.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now fast forward, like I kind of let the idea die down. Then when we went to Masai Mara, this couple we were traveling with was like, oh my gosh, I love your bag. It's really nice. And then also other people on my Instagram stories were like, we want this bag. Then I was like, wait a minute, this can be bigger than commissions.
Yeah.
And I sat down with her and I told her, let's actually do this. Let's actually start a company tailored to travelers when they were traveling with convenience. Because I haven't seen products in Kenya that have some of the features that our bags have. And I'm not saying that from a bragging perspective. You guys have seen
It's
the bags.
facts.
Yeah, so
It ain't bragging if you got it.
I should have come with a bag, but I was like, this is Mantalk. I can't be doing
He
such
could have.
things.
He could have. We're all about getting
Should
the
have
bags.
just been like at the cameras. This is Azana. But anyway, so we registered the business. Then we came up with designs. Then we sourced the materials. We knew where to source them from. We get all our materials from Kenya.
Love it.
Supporting Kenyan businesses. And my goal was for people to see Kenyans can make high quality bags, and they don't gotta be white.
Yeah.
They don't gotta be white.
Yeah. Proper
Yo, you know-
leather.
Black people can do it too.
Let me tell you something. That days are real.
No,
What you've just
seriously.
done is a real.
Yeah.
like legit. Because the truth is, one of the reasons why we started Mantalk the way we have is
Yeah.
because we have to change that narrative. The map behind you is African, but look where we are. We're in Africa, and we are not
Yeah.
dusty.
Yeah.
I mean, the boys are clean. Look at the boy. Look at the boy.
Come on.
You see, look at the pony. Like, boy's got a ponytail
Yeah.
on the set.
You should see when it comes out.
Hey,
Glorious.
yo,
Glorious.
yeah, mess
Yeah.
about, and like
Yeah.
it's we're so proud of you. Like
Yeah.
for real.
we're so proud of you.
Changing the narrative. Once
Yeah.
upon a time.
Yeah,
amazing.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like people at the expo that we were at were like, wait, so who's the Mzungu in charge of this brand? I was like, well, she's turned. It's me.
And she also went to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Por favor. Por favor.
Por favor.
So guys, I hope you're enjoying the conversation so far. We're learning, and I hope you are too. But I'm just going to quickly interrupt to talk about our sponsors again. You must be familiar with them by now. It is Ginsemen. It's all about vitality. It's a supplement that we've been taking for a while just to help us get through the days. So for me, the last time we checked in, we were about a month into our use, and now it's been about 2-3 weeks since then. What I found in the development is that December is a heavy month for multiple reasons. It's a heavy month, okay? And the energy that you need throughout those days, like today we're shooting multiple episodes. So the energy is needed to get through those days, the energy needed from work and play in December, this has been a lifesaver for me. So I want to ask Oscar, how's your December been with Jinsamin?
First of all,
First of all,
this is the most busy month I've ever had because we are lining up Mantalk shoots at the same time. There's traveling with family that's coming soon.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's the fourth quarter. Yeah. So it's literally everyone's trying to get their deals done and we're trying to finish that up. So Jinsamin for me has been of tremendous help. Now I'm like week 7, and already I can tell myself I'm already much more productive. I'm already sharper, not making mistakes. So shout out to Jinsamin.
And the great thing is it really ties into our guest that you're enjoying right now about taking charge.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear the stories, I don't know if you have already, about making a plan, going and sticking to it. And that is what Jinsamin is about as well as vitality. Their ethos is taking charge of your life. So I hope you're enjoying the conversation about it, and I hope you take the chance to enjoy the actual product.
You know it, baby.
Come on. Back to the episode. Enjoy yourself.
Bye.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we've heard that's an incredible journey. It's what I'm taking from that is going after something, but having a plan when you're doing it. That's the main thing I think I can take away from your journey.
You have to
and
have a plan.
having your eyes open to say, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Let me plan and execute.
Exactly.
So your journey is interesting.
Yeah, Raj. I have a question for Raj. I have a question.
Yeah.
Raj,
Please don't make it difficult.
I won't make it difficult. I won't make it difficult.
Remove his man bun. Shit. Wasn't ready for this.
I already did my A-levels.
I did my A-levels. My parents wanted me to do that.
It's done. So Raj, for you, your journey is of particular interest to me. So how did you? Because that's crazy. Like now that you've kind of given me context as to how you've grown from high school. Take me from when you were in high school and didn't have that confidence to where you are now in terms of shooting high quality content. And that's so personal. How on earth did you work on yourself, and how did you build that confidence in being who you are today?
Okay, so I think it goes back down to heartbreak.
Really?
So I know, right? It's just like
I've stood up on set, right?
Sorry guys, the cameras, he's out of frame.
He's out of frame.
He's out of
You just
frame.
went out of frame.
I am sorry.
Oh my God.
I am sorry.
So not being able to talk to girls, I always watched my crush being, taken away by other guys.
Talk about
So when I got into my A-levels, my best friend at the time, he was like, dude, you go. So my first high school was only up to year 11. And then year 12, 13 was in another school. So my best friend was like, you're going to a completely different school, clean slate, nobody knows who you are, you can be whoever you want to be. And that was when I was like, okay, I need to work on my confidence. So I don't know, do you guys know Simple Pickup?
Simple Pickup.
Yeah.
No. Not
Okay, so Simple Pickup was this YouTube channel where they would teach guys how to pick up girls, but as well as that,
is it two Asian guys, Indian guys?
the two
Chinese,
Asian guys and the
Chinese.
Indian guy,
Yeah.
But
How do you think we got this good?
at the base of it all was teaching confidence.
Okay.
That was what I took from all of it was confidence, that you can literally walk up to a girl and say hi, and it doesn't have to be this whole awkward thing.
Yeah.
You just have to. So it's a fake it till you make it thing initially, right?
Yeah.
And then of course there were times they would talk about stuff in the middle of everyone, just drop down and start doing push-ups.
Yeah.
And I did all these different exercises. There was one,
push-ups?
just drop down and push up in front of people, and they're looking at you like, who the heck is this guy?
The audacity.
Yeah.
You won't
exactly.
believe it, bro. You won't believe it. But when I was 14, how was I? 14, where I grew up, South Sea, the same thing. Same exact thing.
Yeah.
What we'd be told is yo, there's a chick.
You're a
behind that
South Sea
photo.
guy.
I'm a South Sea guy.
Ah, same.
Oh.
On God, same
Three
exact.
of us.
You're a South Sea chick.
Yeah.
What?
I grew up in South
This guy's a.
I told you. I told you. There's something about our hood, but the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I'd be told because I went boarding school in Meru. Same exact thing. I was told yo, you wanna hit on a chick, and I had the accent hi, how are you doing? My name is Kome. I come from Meru.
Yeah.
And I had to lose it, and the only way I could do it was go to the shop and talk to chicks. So
Yeah.
I can relate.
There was this one exercise that I had to do was just find a crowded place
Go.
and find like a higher platform,
Uh-huh.
stand on it and just start screaming on the top of your voice and getting people's attention. So I got all up on stage and I'm like, presenting from Northern California, The Rock. And people are looking at me like,
No.
Are you kidding?
I did that.
Oh,
Yeah. It was so nerve-wracking,
It's-
man.
There's a power in being that
No wonder you're
audacious.
so
Yeah.
freaking confident
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yo,
can't be embarrassed.
that's so
Yeah, you can't be,
crazy.
you have to.
Yeah.
Like, so I did those exercises and built my confidence from there. And then, of
Yeah.
course, I was then able to start talking to people
Yeah.
and expressing who I am.
Mm.
There are still, I feel like there's moments in life where your confidence can't just be like this. Like, you dip, you go up, you dip, you go up. So I did have friends who would support me and be like, hey, you can't go and ask the teacher this. And I'm like, no, so you go and ask. But but then they would be like, no, you're working on your confidence, go and do it. And
These
So
friends, shut them out.
Yeah.
Shout out your friends. This is crazy.
That's amazing.
Abbas Yamani, Sunaina Bains, my sister Kirat Soin,
Amazing.
my brothers Ravneet and Indraj.
Amazing.
Oh my
amazing.
God.
That's incredible.
So yeah, then I started my YouTube channel, and wow, picking up that camera and talking to it was dreadful.
Really?
Oh my God. If you guys want to like see a blueprint of how some YouTuber can become successful, go and watch the starting
his first
videos. They're horrible.
Wah,
And-
wah,
and-
wah, wah.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. No. Hi guys. My name is Rajvir, aka Adventures.
No. It was, hello YouTube people. Today I'm going to Karura Forest with my best friend. I don't think she likes me, but you know.
And then
So the little TikTok
Yeah.
cue music. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, that free royalty music that you get on YouTube. Yeah, so well, I had a lot of people who were like, dude, what the heck are you doing? That stuff is cringy, and it's believing in a dream. So you asked me before we started this podcast, my videos are very similar to Los Blancs. He's the reason why I started my YouTube channel. I've always wanted to travel, like throughout my life, ever since I was a kid. And we never really got the opportunity to do so because of like finances and stuff. And when I saw this guy, he was just pointing a camera at himself, traveling around the world and being paid for it. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So I, at some point in the journey of my life, I had a wedding photography company because I picked up a camera when I was in my O-levels. I really loved taking photos. Started a wedding photography company to make some money.
And you love, of course.
And I love love.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
yeah,
love
yeah,
love.
you love
It's-
love.
Yeah, I'm what are they called?
Romantic?
Heartless romantic?
No,
A hopeless
no,
romantic?
I think
Yeah, that's what I am.
the word on this set is sweet boy.
Sweet boy.
Sweet
yeah.
boy.
Okay,
Fine.
fine.
You'll be
Done.
initiated
Done.
later.
Yeah, welcome to Sweet Boy
Done.
Association. You're definitely a member. No doubt about it. And he's from South Sea. So
I'll share my number shortly. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, I had my equipment because of wedding photography, and I was like, I just literally need to figure out how to point this thing at myself
Yeah.
and talk. Now, going back to the thing of being a Kenyan boy where travel over here is so
Gonna
expensive.
get into that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I started off with like, going to the museum, going to Karura Forest, making videos here and there, which people thought were extremely cringy. But I would try to mimic what Los Leblanc would do.
Yeah.
Learn as much as I could from what he's doing. So he had a couple of videos on how to get hotel collaborations. And I was like, that's the thing, you can stay at hotels for free. So with my experience in photography, I started offering hotels.
You can stay in hotels for free.
You can stay in hotels for free.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I started offering hotels photography because I knew my channel wasn't that big. And they would want someone being like, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hey, I'm at the Majlis.
With the eyes doing that.
Yeah, dude,
And his hair was always like, there was like some hair that was like.
We love the process.
Oh man, and my grooming was so off point, dude.
Yeah.
The nose hairs, anyways.
One
freaking
time,
nose hairs.
and
Oh
I
my
see my
God.
nose hairs, and I'm like, dude, how? no, it's not possible. He's like, trust me.
Go watch
Tell
my
me
first
they're there.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like also having the YouTube channel has really like
Forced you to grow.
yeah, you know, style. Thanks, Eli.
No worries, man.
How to talk to people, how to present your face, and all this stuff. Anyways, so yeah, just constantly getting better and better, and then you know the drive for wanting to travel, and if I want to travel, people need to believe in what I do. In order for people to believe in what I do, I have to constantly improve.
Yeah.
And so that's how my vlogs started getting better and better and better. And I was mimicking people like Casey Neistat, Kara and Nate, Los LeBlanc, looking at movies and seeing, okay, how can I use these different techniques to make my videos better and better, how to improve my storytelling and all that stuff. And then it's like, I remember one of the things was confidence. Like, so I had confidence in real life, but not on camera.
Right.
So that was the final piece of the puzzle, was once I put in my confidence, then everything will be.
But the thing
like
about
bam,
your
bam.
confidence isn't even, you know, there's a confidence that's, you can tell it's forced. Yours is natural manufacture. My guy, your confidence is
Calm.
it's cotton. Like, you know, like whenever I watch your videos, and that's why like I gravitated so much towards it. I was like, this guy, look at that shirt. I mean, it's just, the guy's just guying.
Yeah.
He's just
guying.
He's just guying.
Yeah,
He's just chilling. Like, yo, here's my camera. Yeah, I'm in Nyeri. Oh my, the food's dope. Kind of like it here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I'm sponsored by such a
I'll
brand.
be honest. Initially I was kind of broke, man. So I couldn't like really invest in proper clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I had to make what I had work.
But it worked.
And it worked.
It worked.
Yeah.
And then another thing that I just wanted to know is like, you know, because I think all of us who make content have that experience where like, you know, the bank account doesn't match the equipment.
It doesn't.
Yeah. Like, so for travel
Yeah.
photography, especially in Kenya, is it something that, and you know, as a country, tourism contributes to a significant percentage of our national income. And with COVID being here, have you seen any unconventional means, people coming to you as travel and content creators to ask whether you can contribute to their like hotel business, or the national, basically, Ministry of Tourism come and talk to you about it, or no?
No, not really. No.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think
Some hotels have reached out.
some, but like very small scale. The people who see,
Yeah.
like, if someone has started like not okay. So far the hotels that have reached out to me are the ones that are very, very basic. So I haven't had like top end or like mid tier hotels reach out to me, and I think it comes down to the fact that I am Kenyan and I have a Kenyan audience, and these hotels don't want to market to that audience.
What?
Yeah.
So their perception.
Or rather, they have started marketing to that audience.
They
as
have
of
ever
COVID.
since COVID. Yeah, but before that, it's like they kind of want the international piece of the pie.
Yeah, some
you know?
of them.
But you're at the stage where at least they're reaching out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to sort of talk about that part of it, because again, with the journey that we talked about, you getting there
Yeah.
individually. Now, when you're there, if somebody wants to say, okay, I want to become a travel content creator,
Yeah.
right? At what stage did it become that, okay, if I go somewhere, I can make money? Because in my perception of traveling, I don't do that much as content, but you don't really get paid by people to go and travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll get complimentary, etc. So how do you make it work if there's expenses sort of going out? You want to go travel, make the
Exactly.
content.
You cry yourself to sleep in the night. That's all I can
So
say.
is it sustainable being a travel content
It's
creator?
okay. So I'll answer and then he'll go next. So in terms of like, you have to do brand sponsorships and collaborations and get paid for them.
Which kind of brands?
What kind of brands?
Is it like the part of the travel, or is it to do with other brands?
other
even
things?
lifestyle,
Right.
lifestyle brands. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
lifestyle
That was
brands.
a conversation we were having. So
Mhm.
I feel like travel content creation is it's not touched in Kenya. We're probably the biggest.
Yeah.
And if you look at other travel content creators, they're mixing it up in makeup and
Yeah.
lifestyle and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. We are solely travel.
So travel, yeah.
And that's the first time this whole industry has seen such a thing.
Mhm.
And so there's not much of an investment from travel brands because they don't know it exists here.
Mhm.
Because if you go and ask a lot of hotels who's Adventure Singh, they probably don't know.
Which
The
is
ones who
yeah.
have budget to spend, they don't know. But if you go and ask them who is Eli, they'll probably know you, right? So I think that's been a really difficult part of our journey. But if we were travel content creators out there, I think we would be able to. It would be sustainable.
Very sustainable.
Yeah. But right now we're kind of with hotels, it's always free collaboration. So
you don't expect to get.
Yeah,
a hotel can't pay you. They can't give you like most of the hotels that we stay at are like mid to high. This year has mostly been high though. So
I'm bored of it.
We did the damn thing.
Oh, luxury.
It's so hard to be the same hotel as Zuckerberg.
Yeah,
It's dramatically
The
difficult.
US ambassador was just here like a few days ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm staying in his room. You know. This is the rope here.
He came on safari.
he left his business card.
You know.
Go on, you were saying.
Yeah. So if let's say a hotel costs 100,000 a night, or even like 50,000 a night, and then you're there for 3-4 nights. We usually stay 3-4 nights. 4 nights these days, because 4 nights is the minimum we need to shoot content. And now that's over like $1 million or even like 500,000.
Yeah, I think in
They're not
value
gonna
based.
then pay you on top. That's
that.
going to be crazy.
I kind of don't agree with that. I think that's a whole separate conversation though, because
Yeah,
there's a
we've
lot of
disagreed
brands who
about-
give you like a laptop and pay you on top of that.
Now you see, that's what I'm saying. In Kenya, I don't think hotels have gotten to that place where I can give you a complimentary stay, and on top of that, pay you. But abroad, it's there.
But Thando, I noticed that we had an international supermodel staying at the coast.
Are we doing
Don't go there, dude. Don't go there.
That's your gonna.
We just have a set amount of time.
We're gonna.
The podcast is gonna end
saying.
here. No, but man, just like you can't say that. But me,
Let me put it like this.
Because I think honestly, this is what I'm driving.
Or maybe it's possible.
It's
but maybe
possible.
we're black.
But you're black. You're black and you're beautiful. And he's also very black.
He's blackish.
This guy is South Sea. You're blacker. As black as I am.
I was the same guy who used to go and get jugu and
Yeah, you're the guy. Yeah, once you said I was like, this is my guy. This is my guy. So like, I can't for the life of me understand how we can have youth who are so talented. So talented, and the government isn't ringing your phone. Me, I think Balala needs to be in your phone book.
Maybe he will after this.
Maybe he will. Yeah, because you guys are talented.
We've tried a couple of times. I feel like they're still thinking about it. Maybe
their
one
main
day
focus, they would rather, like, sorry for cutting you short, Naomi Campbell or whoever.
Big numbers. Yeah,
big ones. Let me tell you, if you don't have the followers in this country, I'm so sorry to say this. If you don't have the followers in this country, it's not easy to make it.
But that's the thing with any content.
That's so uninspiring to everone watching.
No, but I'm also being
it's like, if you're trying to be a content creator.
No, I'm being blunt, because when I had 1,000 followers, I sent out proposals to anyone and everyone. Hotels charging 10 grand a night, $10,000 a night, and others charging like 5,000, 10,000 bob per night. And I got rejections. I won't lie to you. At 1,000, I got rejections. 2,000, I got rejections. 3,000, rejections. 4,000, rejections. So, but when I started hitting 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, 18, they're like, hey, so come stay. Come. And I'm like, okay, so is it that I am a different Zanelle from the other person?
It's the consistency, must be.
My content is, I mean, of course, my content has changed, it has improved.
Yeah.
But that's why we have to keep like pushing out content.
But brands are learning, like at least right now, brands are learning that the guy's content is really good. He doesn't have the followers, but eventually his content is gonna.
I think also as well, when they're sat in their meetings and their board, they're looking at budgets. What we know is that content at the moment is the tiniest bit of the pie. Yeah. So for them to even separate with that money, they're very selective against the numbers, right? True. Because typically in Kenya, they would rather go for a billboard. So I think it's just to do with the growth of marketing here. So I'm optimistic. Yeah. Balance out.
I'm optimistic. I'll help you there as well.
No, but it's true. But I think it's a time thing, because even the industry, like in the Western world, it took a long time for this to be a reputable industry, even travel, etc. So I have a feeling it's to do with just where we are now, 2021.
Maybe actually.
And you're positioned perfectly because you're going to be like the pioneers of travel.
Exactly.
So when the industry gets to that level,
You're
going to be the ones
You'll be
there,
good.
right?
Yeah,
The
exactly.
question,
I
though,
guess.
the thing I'm noticing is that there's a golden thread in terms of what's been going on, where it looks a bit discriminative. Because for someone to have large local audiences, the hotel industry is like,
You have to think about what their
No,
clientele
I
is, right?
understand.
Yeah,
I understand. But then at the same time, Kenya's luxury market has grown. I think when we were doing the statistics of being around 14,
It's huge. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
14 to
growing.
16%
It's
annually.
growing.
The upper middle class, lower middle class in Kenya are growing to the upper middle class. Now there's no the basket to spend for holidays in the local market is huge. Look at how many
huge.
young people are traveling.
It's here, right?
Look at the cars people are driving. Look at these buildings
but-
where people are coming and
But
stuff.
guys,
There's
like,
a
they're
lot of
spending
money
money on that. But
Yeah.
okay, when you get rich in Kenya,
Yeah.
where do you want to go on holiday? Spain.
out there.
You know? So
Out
they're-
there.
sorry to keep bringing
That's
Spain.
there as
But
well.
like,
True.
you don't want
True.
to come local because you think,
No, but
I'm here all the time.
that's
So
not
even-
necessarily true, bro.
I have a
'Cause-
feeling, but
because-
you'd rather say it's a social thing. So
Yeah.
if we're all in like Kempinski talking about what did you do over the summer?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to here, I went to America, I went here.
I agree.
They'd rather say that than say I went to the Mara.
Yeah, but the safari experience, let's say, and I have to commend things like Magical Kenya, where they're rebranding Kenya to being an experiential thing, where it's like there are these 7 experiences that if you have
Yeah.
down your locker as a Kenyan, it even makes you feel more Kenyan. There's a sense of patriotism that's coming with investing, like giving your son or your children or your wife or your spouse or your friends that experience of actually experiencing Kenya. I've seen has become more and more appreciated. And on top of that, our place is bloody Instagrammable.
Yeah.
As hell.
I think it's a bigger conversation
It is.
about just
It is.
ownership of your country.
Yeah,
It
honestly.
It's not even
yeah.
about the travel. It's about
Yeah.
the pride of being, I'm not trying to be like
Yeah.
that blog. I'm trying to be like,
Yeah,
get
but
it,
who
you know?
owns
Yeah.
the assets? That's another question I'm having. Like, who owns the businesses that are meant to monetize let's say, the national parks? The guys who own those businesses are Kenyans, no?
Mix, I think.
It's a huge
Yeah.
mix,
It's a
dude.
huge mix.
And
Yeah.
It's
even
a
some of
huge
these
mix.
hotels, their
Yeah.
marketing teams are abroad.
Are abroad. Yeah.
So they're not even aware of how it's on the ground.
So you
I'd rather
see,
bring-
they would be like, okay, so your work is good, your followers, but
Yeah.
if you now that's where the idea of us collaborating came in.
Yeah.
We realized our skill set combined,
right.
our followers combined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
would be
that-
more powerful.
It was like a
than either of
collective.
us.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
now there's a point Harley joined in, and then now also we traveled with Eli and Antony Moore and many other people,
Yeah.
and then combined now that was a powerful. That I remember that trip. That proposal was so airtight.
Mhm.
They just saw like over 200,000 followers sold.
Yeah. So that would you say
And
that's
then-
the key to the problem?
I think collaborations are very important. In my opinion, I think they are important. Not all the time, but even, I mean, Raj, we learned a lot doing that,
Yeah.
that Masai Mara
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
Way more than we could have even learned
Really?
by ourselves.
Mm.
Yeah, so collaborations is how you grow.
Yeah,
100%.
That's a very good shout.
100%.
Raj, you sounded hesitant. What was that?
I don't know why. I don't know why.
There. Okay, so when I started out, again, like I mentioned, my videos were horrible and stuff, and
Yeah.
the way I was able to get these collaborations was through offering a service, right? Photography in exchange for a free night. So I think if you're smart about how you want to position yourself, it's kind of like, okay, you're a creator, but you need to have a business mindset in this game, keeping costs low and then trying to maximize on how much you're making. So if you know that, hey, my YouTube channel is at freaking 0 subscribers, I need to position myself in another way to get this collaboration so I can get my YouTube channel going, right? And that's what I did.
True. Yeah.
So you have to go back to be like, okay, I need to learn a certain skill set.
Right.
What do hotels want at this point? What does everyone want? They want content to put on their social
Yeah,
media.
they need content.
So go and take a quick course in photography. These days, people are using iPhones
Yeah.
to create
Guilty.
amazing photos,
Yeah.
and like that's literally all you need to make it big in this industry. So I don't agree that followers is everything. So, but okay, it again goes back to.
It's not everything, but what we're trying to say is it's also fundamental. to some
It's
extent.
fundamental, yeah. But like you can monetize in different ways. So I could go up to a brand. I could be like, okay, you guys don't want to pay me for my followers, but you can pay me for my photography.
So essentially, both of you are saying there needs to be some sort of value exchange.
It needs,
So I think
Value
it
exchange,
actually is
yeah.
probably case by case, depending on the client.
depending on the
True.
client,
It is
exactly.
If the
Yeah.
client
Yeah.
is wants like a certain demographic of people, I feel like your approach is brilliant. You bring me the new
Yeah.
everyone.
Exactly.
These are young people. These are
Exactly.
following, right? But then if it's somewhere that needs actual material, then your
Yes.
skill set works. So maybe it's case by
Exactly.
case.
It's a case
in
by
that
case
sense.
kind of
yeah,
thing.
actually.
Because
Yeah.
like sometimes I will reach out to a hotel and they'll say no.
Mm.
And I'll be like, okay, but I can offer you
Mm.
plus 10 photos. Would that work out? And they'll be like, okay, sure, come.
Or even
Yeah.
some might say, we're not interested.
But
Simple.
Or some will say no, then
My-
you just
my-
move on, you know?
My experience with negotiating with brands, especially, but perhaps it's different in travel. My experience with negotiating with brands has been their main point of negotiation. One of the things, of course, is the ROI thing, but they also like value a lot when it comes to impact. And the reason why I'm kind of inclined to tilt towards Thando's direction in terms of that collective is because you have an airtight proposal.
Yeah.
It's easy, like from my perspective of negotiation, it's easy for me to get away with making a brand overpay because I'll tell them A's rate card is B, C's rate card is D.
There's no such thing as being
So
overpaid.
let's
No such thing as being overpaid.
yeah, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as overpayment. It doesn't exist. But there's underpayment.
Yeah, there's
There's
underpayment.
But there's no overpayment.
Yeah.
I need when you say over.
Yeah, but like the truth is like coming up with a fair value exchange when you have I tell you if I'm negotiating, I'll be like, okay, pay for Miss Nemo individually, pay for Eli individually, pay for Adventure individually. The collective price is X. So what you're actually getting from a price point works. Skill point. Look at the guy on my right. This guy is silky smooth with the camera. Silky.
So that's a value.
Yeah, you see, like, you know, like, he's silky smooth. So, like, for me, like, from a
Yeah.
negotiation standpoint, I think just the idea of having one, and I know without a doubt that it's something that even we can contribute to. I think that's a very good shout.
A collective is a very,
think-
it's
It's a
Very
perfect
practical.
balance because collaboration and value added services and stuff like that.
and your
That's-
reach, the reach
that's
is
a
much
sweet
larger.
spot.
Yeah, on mantalk.ke, you've seen a business idea come to life.
Yes.
It started here first. So let me move away from business a bit. 'cause I feel
Wait.
like-
You. The
Okay.
first part of your question, which is supposed to be answered, is how
Okay.
we're monetizing ourselves now.
Yeah.
Is we use other brands that can sort of not use them. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Brands that fit into our daily lives.
Okay.
So like, I drink.
Uh-huh.
I'm working with Johnny Walker. I need to take care of my skin. I'm working with Nivea.
Okay.
So like, those are the kind of different brands you can see that fit into your lifestyle that would help other travelers. Right? Azana fits into my lifestyle. So
But what are you trying to say?
Pay
Hey, the boy, sign the check. There's no such thing as
being
being
overpaid.
overpaid.
Yeah. That's really practical. So basically, you're
Yeah.
saying to summarize what you've said is,
Yeah.
yes, you're not going to get paid by the travel, the company. You're not going to get paid by the hotel.
Yeah.
Use the time, use the aesthetics
Yeah.
to make content for the people that will pay you.
Yeah.
So be
Exactly.
versatile as well
yeah.
Yeah.
in what the content you're making.
Yeah.
That's what I think you're saying,
And
right?
even,
Yeah.
like-
Which is a lesson we learned like just
Right.
very recently.
Yeah, being versatile.
And
Uh,
commercial photography as well. If there are any businesses that need
Oh,
product
look who has gone back to
photography.
photography.
But do you know, you wouldn't be in this
photography.
position. But both of you wouldn't be in this position like you. If you weren't there during your degree researching, you wouldn't have the service to offer.
Yeah.
So it's taking the time. Always goes back to self-development.
Yeah,
Taking the time to be like, I'm going to
exactly.
learn this. I'm going to be stressed out and do PowerPoint. So
Yeah.
when I go to brands, this is the skill set you have. Similar with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Set up a wedding thing, initiative, learn the skill, and then you've got that. So that's
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
brilliant. So if
Yeah.
you don't get here, there needs to be a journey.
There needs to
And
be a
time
journey to
taken.
get here. Yeah.
And you
Yeah,
have to
that-
keep
yeah.
self-improving. Like I keep doing courses, same for him, like learning, getting better. You're even when you tell us we're the best, in my head I'm like, I'm not there yet.
I wish,
I'm
yeah.
not there yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like
And
I'm still learning.
that applies everywhere, regardless of the
Yeah,
industry.
yeah.
It applies
Yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
even for my profession, which is legal, like for us, the more you invest in yourself and the more you invest in like your skill set, the more you'll be able to add value to clients. If you're not able to do that, then consistently, you're just going to get overtaken. So like I have a question from, because we're heading towards the conclusion now.
This is the conclusion. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
We're an hour. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm headed towards thinking about George's question, because you guys are the perfect guys to ask the question. But like Georgie Ndirangu, who sat was our previous guest, asked us a question on. So we have this thing where we make sure the next guest gets the question from the previous guest. So your question is actually very interesting. If there was no social media, absolutely no social media, Zuckerberg failed.
Zero.
Would you be happier?
Who wants to go first? Can I go first?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I don't think I would, because this is where I find meaning in my life. Like, if there was no social media, I would never get to achieve the life of travel, which is a life I've always wanted. In terms of being the person who's constantly using, so the other person on the other end of the whole thing, they're looking at Adventure Scene and going like, man, this guy has all the money in the world to travel. I wish I could be like him. A very sort of, that's where social media has a negative impact. So I think it depends on how you're looking at it and who you're asking that question to.
It's you I'm asking.
Yeah, so like me as a content creator, man, social media has made me super happy with my life. Dude, man, I get paid to travel, man. I got away with murder. Success.
You made success. Finally.
You know? So
Here I am on the podcast.
Put the map behind me.
Oh my god.
So that's my answer.
That's a fantastic
Happy
answer.
AF.
Amazing,
Great.
amazing. Zanelle?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that what he said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Thandotravels growing. No, in the sense that I always love taking like like just going off social media. I love it. I love the silence. I love people not knowing what I'm doing, where I am. Sometimes I feel like deleting my account. There's no lies about that.
Never do that. Please don't do it.
Not because of anything, but like sometimes I'm like, okay, no, this is too much. It was just a hobby. I was just having fun.
We thank God for that ambition.
Deliverable.
That ambition.
We came to say
That ambition has like really like you two are so like it's your ambition that's driven you. Like your stories are amazing.
Final thing
you.
that we also do here, we didn't tell you beforehand, we want it to be spontaneous. We always ask guests, what is one thing that you've seen recently, read recently, anything at all. It can be jovial, it can be something serious, it can be like a course you've taken. What's one thing people need to go watch or see that you can recommend? One each.
Ooh, The Harder They Fall on Netflix.
Is it good? I put it on my list, but I haven't watched it.
Wait, are you talking about watching movies?
Anything. It could be a book, it could be a podcast.
That was your number one.
It's
It's
top
actually
of my
good.
head. Top of my head.
It's actually
good.
It's
Some good
actually
acting.
good.
Okay.
It's actually
I'm
good.
gonna watch it. Okay, fair.
good
I was just at the edge of my seat watching
What was
it.
my favorite?
I'm looking around because I'm just like, I don't know, watch TV.
It doesn't have to be watching a book, anything.
What was my favorite?
Invest in the metaverse, crypto.
Really?
Make that money. Yeah.
For real,
Yeah,
for real.
crypto.
Yeah, dude, man, the
Crypto.
metaverse is like going to be the next social media, man.
Do the research on metaverse.
Yeah.
Do
Do
research.
you research on the metaverse, cryptocurrency, and become
Yeah.
freaking rich?
Yeah.
Now is the time to start trading.
Amazing.
I don't know about trading, just invest.
This guy.
Don't trade. You'll lose money, man.
Yeah.
That's all
It depends if
Who
you.
studied economics? Oh my god.
Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, Raj, Zanelle, this has actually been so much value. I really hope content creators out there are going to take something from you and see the humans behind the amazing photography,
What an
etc.
episode.
One thing I'd ask is when you're doing you did that one in Tanzania when you did you're on your stories more.
Yeah.
So entertaining. Please do that more when you're
Do
talking
you
to us.
think I
Yeah,
should?
please do that more.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I told you that was
Yeah.
awesome.
But like I'm scared.
You've got this. It's
I'm
fine.
sure.
It's fine.
Just think of my first videos.
Yeah, genuinely. So please
get over
Okay,
it.
I will.
Yeah,
I
please
will.
keep making the
I'll be
content.
doing that. I'll
Yeah,
be doing
you're
that.
growing the industry in terms of travel, and you're helping
Yeah.
other people see that it's possible. So the stage we're talking about when we get there and there's
Yeah.
bags,
Yeah.
I think we're going to be the leaders. So please don't stop. doing
Okay,
content.
no,
I
won't.
forgot to ask
I'll
one
actually
really
keep-
important question.
Mhm.
What was your experience like actually meeting Los LeBlanc? Actually meeting him. Actually. Like now here he is.
Come
Okay.
Coming to your-
Do you know how
his
you're
place.
feeling right now?
Uh-huh.
Is literally how I was feeling.
Times 10.
Times 10. But then here's the thing, like I had all these questions that I wanted to ask him, but I kind of wanted to be like more of a friend rather than someone who's just coming to leech with questions. Yo, how do you take the setting? How do you? I didn't want to do that, but they were just burning deep down inside. But yeah,
I hope he sees this.
Yeah.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
But I have his number and stuff. Like he's my homie now, so
Literally. Can you
The boy.
imagine?
Amazing.
yeah, you
But
know.
he didn't let
See?
me breathe though. He
Can't
just
remind
video
me.
called me. Lost LeBlanc is here, and I'm like, shut up.
Amazing.
I'm so happy you met him.
That must have been
So
magical.
happy.
Yeah, it was.
So it's possible. It's possible.
possible.
Keep doing
It's
what you're
possible,
doing.
Yeah.
guys.
People
Like
Yeah.
life is possible if you work hard.
Trust
Amazing.
me, everything is possible. Even being better than us is possible. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. We love that. We
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
how you end the podcast.
That's how you end the podcast.
That's how you
I
end the
really
podcast.
enjoyed it. Please come back at some point. And we'll see you next week for another episode of mantalk.ke.